Greetings everyone, it's Mikhail and my new tutorial is here. So this time I wanna shed some lights on particles inside Cinema 4D. Especially in this time I want to incorporate some kind of product like a bottle which dive into the water scene with some bubbles effect around it. So I think it's interesting technique, there are some nice tips and tricks, so if you're up for it, let's get started. Okay, as you see, I prepared beforehand this scene. I'm just grabbed this model from my previous tutorial. Actually, I got it from the content browser here, from the asset browser. You can find it here, this model. Maxon provides us with pretty nice models. And also it has some sort of already prepared materials, which you also can check in my previous tutorials. I provide you with link below. But today we're gonna focus on particles effect itself. No, this tutorial not about redshift, this tutorial about the effect. So we have this model. Let me press NB to get the idea how it looks. It looks like that. Actually, let me change my orientation here. I mean rotation and position. Just reset it by default, like a 0, 0, 0, and maybe here as well. Not sure exactly. Yep. Just to be on the safe side. Yeah, so we got this product model. So first thing first, I want to create a Vertx map which will act as a driver for my particles, because in nutshell, I want to scatter particle over the surface and activate it by fields condition using my Vertx map which I want to create. So for that, I want to grab only one of the part of this bottle, you know. And moreover, in the first glance, it looks like a pretty nice and I think smooth mesh. But if we deactivate our product, we got some sort of big polygons here, small polygons here. That's not good working if we want to use Vertx Map. So for that, I want to just grab, I would say, this bottle, you know. Let me select it. Go to the generators and create an instance from this. Let me hide this product for now, and we got instance of bottle itself without any cap. So I want to create kind of retopology for this bottle in order to create proper and dense Vertx map growing effect. So let me place this bottle instance inside remesher. Okay. And I want to go to the mesh, to the object, and switch from mesh density to polygon target mode polygon count. So by default it looks like that. I would prefer increase count by 10,000, yeah. And also I want to use symmetric X in order to get proper result like this one, you know, we get kind of symmetrical and pretty dense mesh with almost the same scale of the polygon, which important thing for us, yeah. So we got this one. Let me place it inside connect object and call it source, because I want to use especially this part of model as a source for distributing my particles and as a source to drive my Vertx map. So let me select and check if everything is okay. Let me select this product, press Alt G, and place my source inside and call it product, just to organize my scene. Okay, so next thing, I want to create camera. Yeah, let me select this camera, change focal length by 200, a bit readjust camera view like that. Okay, and also, as you see, I use vertical format like this, just a vertical full HD format, nothing specific. What next? Let's create a vertex attribute which will act as a driver for my upcoming particles. For that, let me right click on the source, go to the other text and create Vertx Map. Make sure if you change the name, because in case you want to use several attributes, I highly recommend rename it with different names, because sometimes you just messed up with the same Vertx Map attribute name and it provide a not correct result. So for that I would prefer change name to grow map, because this map will act as a grow. So let's go to the Vertx map, go to the fields and create spherical field. By default looks like that. Actually, let me change maybe camera angle. I don't know, like this maybe. Okay. So let me grab my spherical field, select Vertx Map, grab my spherical field and place it, I would say, something there. Yeah, just to create growing from this point to whole model. Yeah. So let me go here and create freeze modifier, which acts as a solver, I would say, and place it after my spherical field. And spherical field I want to switch to add mod. Yeah, so right now if we go to the freeze modifier and switch from mod none, which just a default parameter, to grow, because we want to control grow, and change, I would say, fx strength from 100 to 50%. Let me press play and we got this one. Yeah, pretty straightforward result. Yeah, but I want to bring some life in this vert and grow effect. For that, let me create just a random field. Let me call it noise. Actually, let me rename it here, noise. Okay, and I want to use this noise as a mask for radius, for my Vertx Map radius. Let me place it here and change scale, I would say 300%, and increase speed by 100%. Let me check how it looks. Take a look. We got some sort of interesting, more realistic growing Vertx Map. So that's it for this. Actually, let me grab noise and spherical field as well. Press Alt G and call it Vertx Map. Okay, just to organize my scene. So as you see, we have a camera in our scene. We have a product which includes source model, which we grab from the bottle and use an instance inside remesher to get a proper dense result here. And we have this null with Vertx Map, which really easy to recognize when you're working with a buggy project or big scene, you know. So we got this one. So this time switch to the particles. Actually, for now, let me deactivate visibility for Vertx Map. Yeah, it's here. Let me check if everything is okay here. Okay, so as I called it source, I want to use this, especially this mesh as a source for my particles. When we're talking about emit particles from the surface, we have to use simulation emitters, mesh emitters. So select this source object, go to the simulation, go to the emits and create a mesh emitter. Let me grab both mesh emitter and particle groups, which created automatically when we create mesh emitter after the product. Go to the mesh emitter and let's make some changes inside. I want to emit just a shot mode. I want to emit, for instance, 10,000 particles, you know, in one frame. If we go to the properties, by default we have a speed equals 100, but I don't want to use any speed for my mesh emitter, because it will act as a initial state for my particles which scatter over the bottle, you know. Let me switch to 0, and I want to change direction from normal to random to create a random direction for each particles, you know. So if right now we press move forward one frame, we got this scatter, you know, and we press play, the particles stay on the surface because we don't have any speed, we don't have any custom velocity in our scene, we don't have any forces. So that's absolutely okay for me. What next? Let's select this particle group and call it A, because it's initial state. I would prefer use it as A, B, C, and for me it's pretty straightforward to use this type of renaming. And I want to create kind of condition which drive my particles, which switch actually from group A to group B, you know, and in group B we just apply some sort of additional forces and velocity to create this effect, like I already shared in my teaser. So let's go to the simulation, go to the condition and create field conditions and place it inside our group A, because I want to use this condition only for group A. So field conditions pretty useful thing because you can control your particle by fields. But as I know, sometimes it provides maybe not so fast result. Because every time when we try to use fields, our particles will download it from GPU, switch to CPU, and like a back and forward, GPU, CPU, GPU, CPU, But especially for this effect, because we don't have a lot of particles, we're not talking about the 1 million or 2 million, or maybe 50 million particles in this part. We just want to create bubbles effect. So for that, it's not a crucial thing. So and what I want to say my field condition. I want to use this condition to switch the group. Let me create additional group. Actually, not a group. Let me create a modifier. It's called switch group. Place it under the field condition in order to control this switch group modifier by condition. And I want to switch by fields to this group, and use for that my Vertx Map. So let me open the product, grab this Vertx Map, and use it as a field for my field condition. So if we select field condition right now, I think it should be visible. Yeah, take a look. We got this one. We got this weird, like frozy stuff, like I don't know, freeze effect here. But because we didn't apply any target group, so that's why our field conditions looks like just arrows or just, handles. So for that, let's go to the simulation groups and create a particle group. Let's call it B, just to organize our scene. So place it after group A, select switch group, and use target group as a group B. In group B, we can go to the override mode display and use constant, just for instance, red color, And if right now we play our simulation one more time, we got this effect. Our green particles switch to the red particles. We create some sort of, I would say, infection effect. Of course, we have a predator-prey modifier and we can control it by predator-prey, but I don't know. For this particular case, I decided to use this one. If you're interested in some kind of predator prey or something, I'm going to explore it maybe in my next tutorial. Just leave a comment below and ask the questions. And if you have any interesting, I would say, reference regarding similar techniques or regarding particle ethics in Houdini or something, you can use kind of community in Patreon, just a chat, just share with me this reference. It might be some sort there are a lot of hidden gems to recreate interesting effect with Cinema 4D particles. Of course, if it's possible, because it's still limited, but in some cases, especially with fluids or something. But anyway, it's just a idea to be on the safe side with my community, guys. So let's move forward. As we switch to group B, we can create new forces inside group B only. So let's go to simulation, modifiers, and create one of my favorite flock. Place it here and let me check. Take a look. We got pretty interesting result, like a growing effect. Yeah. So it's a general technique, but we have to control it to create interesting result, to create an interesting movement and behavior with particles. So for now, let me deactivate visibility for group A just to get this one. Take a look. Really nice, yeah. So, and as you see, this flock modifier affects only group B. So let's go to the flock modifier, check if everything is okay. One thing, I want to change velocity alignment strength from 1 to 2 to, as you understand, I think it's aligned to velocity strength, and depending of velocity strength, it's provide different result. Take a look like this, or if I change by 10, I think we got a bit different result. It's kind of try to keep the initial form, but I think 2 for our case it's much better. Yeah, so and our particles get this velocity because they try to push apart from each other, because we use separation here 2.5 centimeters, you know, and we have a cohesion as well, which connect particles by this cohesion radius, you know. So I think for now we can keep these parameters like this, and let me go to the simulation modifiers and create Datamapper. So Datamapper is pretty nice, interesting modifier, because we can map different data, you know. For instance, by default it use age, and property out is position, but I want to control radius for my new group B particles. So for that I want to switch to the radius here in property out, and I prefer use upper radius 2, lower radius 0, and I want to map not the age, I want to map distance traversed. What does it mean? It means when the particles move for this distance, the radius will change. By default looks like that, and absolutely okay, because I want to grow my particles in the beginning and disappear at the end. So let me change this upper, let's start from 100 and take a look. Looks the same, that because currently our particles don't show us the proper radius. For that we have to go to group B, activate withdraw radius, and just to make this size as small as it possible. So if right now I press play, we got the radius something. Sometimes we have some debugs here, and take a look. We got some kind of growing, yeah? Take a look. It starts from small radius and continues big radius. Yeah. Okay, so far so good. Let me create custom velocity for that. Of course we can use some sort of turbulence or something, but I really prefer use field force, because I want to tell my particles use custom vectors, you know. So field force is one of my favorite as well, and I want to a bit readjust like this box here. Let me create some sort of this. Sorry, let me place it here like that. No, I want to change. Yeah, let me find proper result. Yeah, so I just want to create kind of vector field here, maybe something like that, maybe a bit smaller here. Yeah, increase line density, go to the objects. By default we use add to velocity, let's increase by 50 and create just a simple random. We have this one vector field. Let me change scale from 100 to I think maybe 700, and change speed by 50, and go to the display and maybe just open this little arrow and change the display like that. So right now we tell our particles this velocity equals 50. Let me run it, and we got something like that. Take a look. Maybe it's too fast to appear here, yeah? I think that because we apply this field force for all our particles, you know, if we deactivate group 1 and activate group A, we got this one, yeah? So, but we want to apply this field force only to group B, just drag and drop it inside group B, hide group A, activate group B, and we got this one. Yeah, not bad, right? So, so far so good. Let me a bit readjust my setup. First thing first, I want to create, actually I want to tell this source object acts as a collider, but maybe the good idea is to hide this source, activate this original product, right click simulation collider. Make sure if you deactivate any frictions, because we don't want to connect particles over the surface. And let me create one more modifier, it's called collide, and place it here. Actually we can place it inside group B as well, because we want to work only with group B. Group A acts as a source, as the initial state for our particles. In this collide, we can use a bunch of parameters. Let's start from maybe both, radius by 2, bones maybe 20%, and angle variation 20% as well. Let me try. Take a look, we got something. Yeah, looks not bad. And it's disappear like a bubbles. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe change radius by 0. Let me try again. Yeah, looks good. As for me, looks good. Yeah. So I use field force, in order to control everything inside these field parameters. So one more thing, I want to add some rotation for these particles. Let me create just a random, not a radial field, and choose blending mode from max to add and change maybe by 30%. Let me check how it works. I think we should, yeah, we have kind of rotations here. Let me increase it just to get the idea. Looks a bit weird, but still interesting. Yeah. Oh, I forgot maybe 50%. Let me check, maybe change random field by 500, maybe 300 is enough. Let me check. Yep, something definitely happened, but I want to tell my particle move up. For that, let's create a solid field, yeah, in add mode as well, and change my direction, this direction, by 0.3 maybe. Let me check how it works. Yeah, not bad, but why my particles try to rotate in this direction? Maybe we have to change radial field orientation from that to that, I don't know. Sometimes it's provide a buggy result. I got it, because my random field placed here, yeah. So let me move it here. Actually, I think my field force placed in that area. Let me change everything. Yeah. Let me check it one more time. Yeah, let me change position for my radial field and for my maybe like minus like this for this one. I think right now it should works perfect. Let me check one more time. Yeah, we got this like a rotation movement and disappear my particles. Yeah, one more thing, as you remember, we create with Datamapper and we just use property distance reversed and upper in 100. Let me switch to 100, maybe 50%. Let me run my particles one more time, and we got this one. Yep, for me looks promising. Let me go to the this radial field. Sorry for messed up. I think we should change direction again. Let me check it. Yeah, and we got some sort of this. So what next? As you remember, we create this solid with strength 0.3, like a, actually it's like a anti-gravity, we got this direction, so just a 0.3, and we have this random radial field, maybe change to 40%, and we have this random field here. But I also want to tell my particle somehow attract to this surface. It's pretty straightforward because we use field force. I want to use my source here as a source to attract. So actually, let me deactivate everything. We got this vector field. We generated directly from the source. Let me switch to the surface and let me show you how it works. It's kind of, try to follow this surface with my particles. But if we add additional forces here, hide our field force, I think you got the general idea how it works. It works like that. pretty the same like my teaser, I would say, you know. So maybe we have to play around with this random field, like just change seed. Let me find a proper solution for that, and we got this one. As for me, looks interesting. Maybe play around a bit with Datamapper. I don't know. Maybe we should change 120% upper in. Let me check. Yeah, take a look. As for me, looks good. So, what next? I also created some sort of bottle animation which moved down, but before we create it, I want to create, let me actually switch to the ground shading. Yeah, and just try to, I don't know, try to rotate it. I'm not sure if my materials show. Yeah, I'm activate showing materials. So this is the cover which I created for my previous tutorial, and I want to rotate my product. Yeah, let me go here, create keyframe, move it in frame maybe 40, go back, create like that, maybe like that, just a 70 frames, maybe 70 degrees. Yeah, right click and show F curve. I need to show F curve and select both points and switch to linear. Go to the product and switch after from constant to continue in order to our rotation will endless, you know, will continue rotate. So, and as our product acts as a collider, you know, for our scene, you know, here, so it will provide to this additional rotation with additional interesting moving. So let me run my simulation one more time, and we got this one. Maybe it's too fast, yeah, but as we use just a 2 keyframe, we can switch keyframe, change keyframe from 40 to 70, for instance, and we got like this. As for me, looks pretty nice, yeah. So, and our particles just disappeared. If you want to control amount of particle, just go to the mesh emitter, go to the emission, and switch from 10,000, for instance, for 20,000. Let me check, and we got a bunch of particles here. So as you see, it's absolutely procedural setup, and you can play around to achieve this result. So I think we almost were. Maybe sometimes when we're talking about some sort of underwater scene, we have to switch in collider modifier from both to repel, for instance. Let me check. Because it's a different algorithm, you know, it's kind of sliding down, you know, over the surface and provide us more, I think, realistic result if we're talking about the underwater scene. And let me actually check here if everything is okay. Yeah, maybe we should increase radius to attract our particles. Let me check. As you see, it's pretty interesting and procedural setup. Yeah, I'm not sure about the purling noise. Maybe increased by 550%. Let me check. Sometimes some of the back, you know, glitch here. I don't know what is it. Yeah, take a look. We got a bit different result with some bubbles and particles. Yeah. So one more thing, if we go to the Datamapper, we also can activate the noise. So it's interesting thing. I'm not sure if it's usable for this particular case, but take a look. It's create a kind of, I don't know, additional particles effect, you know, but the particles still continue moving through the noise. Maybe for some cases you can use the same technique to create another effect, yeah. So, but you know, we mapped our particles, you know, from 0 to 0, and we have this peak here. But what if you want to provide these different size for particles, you know? It's a bit maybe advanced technique, but let me show you as well. Let me go to the simulation, go to the conditions, actually not condition, go to the modifier. I use Map modifier, which one of the powerful modifier, I would say, in the particle system, because you can create really nice condition by yourself. So operation is add, and actually I want to multiply my radius for my particles, each radius for my particles, to some kind of noise, with minimum and maximum amount, in order to get kind of different size for each particle. So it's actually pretty straightforward. You can go to the operation and choose multiply, because you want to multiply, and choose what property out, what kind of property you want to multiply. We want to multiply radius, so we got this one, and as you see we have a source here, field and property, and I want to use a field, and I want to multiply my radius, for instance value by 1, because our radius equals 2. We want to multiply 1 by 2, but use a random value for that, like a random field. And let me check how it works. Take a look. We got random size for particles. As for me, that looks pretty nice. If you want to more direct your particles behavior, you can also create just a simple turbulence, place it here as well. Make sure all your particle modifiers operate before collide, just to get proper collision result. Let me check one more time, and we get additional turbulence here. Let me increase maybe turbulence by 50%. We got this one, or increase by 100% for scale, and we got like this one. So I think you got the idea how to create interesting result. So it's pretty much it. One more trick I want to share you here. Sorry, maybe so long tutorial, but there are a lot of stuff I want to share with you guys, So I try to create animation for my bottle, just move it, for instance, down to create something, but it also affects the particles, and I just want to share with you some sort of trick. If we're talking about scene without any background, we can kind of I would say replicate this thing, sorry. So what I try to say, we have a camera. Let me create the null. Okay, place it here, for instance, called it cam, and let me place my camera inside the cam. Okay, so as you see, we can rotate or create something. So, and let me choose the product, and create maybe 2 keyframes. Let me create 1 keyframe, move it here in frame 60, for instance, and let me move it up a bit, like this. Let me try to show you. As you see, we have something weird. That's why I want to avoid this stuff, because when I was working on this tutorial, I used a static scene without any animation, but we can control by camera, Let me select camera, press Alt-G to create one more null for my camera. Actually, let me create one more null, place it here, place my camera here, called it position, like a pose, and we can control position as well, like this one. Let me switch here. Okay, move my position here, like that. Let me check. We got this one. Good result, and I also want to add some sort of liquid behavior inside, I would say inside liquid, So let me right click on the camera, go to the animation tag and use vibrate tag. Of course, I can place it directly to the product, but it's tricky to control, guys, That's why I want to use a camera, instead of product. So let me show you. Actually, I want to activate rotation, switch frequency by 0.5 maybe. Let me create 10 by 10 by 10. Let me play, and we got something like that. Maybe it's so frequently. Let me change frequency by 0.1. Take a look. We got this interesting result. Maybe I forgot one more thing about my pulse, like a position. Just to switch it back a bit, like this. And let me check. We got this one. Yeah, take a look. Something interesting, yeah? So, if you want to render it, take a look. Our initial state for cam will change. We have to right click, show track. Where is it? Show track here. And I want to actually go to the function and bake this object. Yeah. Scale, PLA, whatever. Yeah. Let me bake it. What I'm trying to say, when you prepare your scene for final render, try to avoid any parametric stuff which not included baking stuff or something. So I'm just to bake to PLA, just a point level animation, you know. So we got a copy of this cam, you know. And if right now we check this, we got this, you know, position and rotation copy, and here as well. So right now we get pretty similar result, but it will works exactly the same what we want. Our first frame, you know, and our last frame. So I think it's pretty much it for this part of tutorial. I hope you like it, and in next part I'm gonna shed some lights on some Redshift stuff. It's not big deal because it's not a complicated lighting stuff, but I also want to talk about instance for particles, you know, to create a proper result. Let me actually show you one more thing because I think it's important. Use a cloner, yeah, create a sphere like an instance, make radius equals 1, segments 12, switch cloner to multi-instance, switch mod to group, and use my group B as a source. And actually let me hide my particles group B. In cloner, right now in new Cinema 4D 2024.4 or later release, we can use particle scale, and as you see, it's respect the scale from our Datamapper modifier. So we can get this one just to check how our particles work. But in next tutorial I want to share with you how to create proper instance here, you know. So I think that's it for this part of tutorial. I hope you like it, guys. Leave a comment, you know, below, and see you very soon next time. Bye bye.